Greetings everybody and welcome to Madrid Ball. I hope you all are safe and sound, and I hope you all had a good night's sleep as well, because obviously Real Madrid had already put us to sleep during the game with the snooze fest that they put up yesterday. It was dull, it was boring, and yet again against a team struggling to stay up in the top division, we struggled to create chances. In this video, we will do the post-match analysis, or at least we will try to do, because literally there is so less to talk about when you are handed a 0-0 draw. So let's get on with this video. Now before the game, there was great amount of uncertainty about whether the conditions would be good enough for the game to be played, but the officials deemed the conditions to be okay and they went forward with the match. The players, I understand, they were a bit reluctant to play. They had to board a dangerous flight to Pamplona, but I was actually very excited for the game because how often do you get a chance to watch a football match in the snow? Of course, if you follow the Premier League, you may see it a bit more often, but in La Liga we don't really see it, and as we saw during the match, the players also struggled to get going in the early minutes of the game. Now I had this understanding that it would be a difficult game for the players. The ball circulation would be a bit difficult, the ball would sometimes skid off the surface, sometimes slow down, and the players would find it difficult to pass the ball. But I was hoping that we would get some dramatic slips and slides. Maybe some of them would come near the penalty area, add to the drama, but the game was far away from being anything dramatic. If we have a look at the lineup, Zidane went with Courtois, Ramos, Varane, Mendy and Vasquez in defense, Kroos, Casemiro and Modric in the midfield, and up top we had Benzema, Asensio and Eden Hazard. None of you got your predictions correct, so we'll skip the shout-out section. But seeing the lineup, I was a bit surprised seeing that Hazard was given a start, because we have seen that Zidane has wrapped him up in cotton wool. And even in the pre-match press conference, he had very pragmatically said that we have to take things slowly with Hazard. But anyways, he was there on the pitch, and yes, those are not the most ideal conditions to return to the starting lineup. But these are the kind of games where we sometimes need individual brilliance to get past the low block, get a goal, see out the game, get the 3 points, say thank you to the groundsman for doing a tremendous job clearing up the snow, and then head back home. But Real Madrid could not manage to do that. Now obviously the rhetoric would be that it was a very difficult game to play in the snow, and I do understand that. When it rains or snows, it is very difficult, your vision is blurred, the flicks and tricks that you try do not really come off. But Real Madrid had 73% of the possession in the first half, and we didn't even have a single shot on target. That's not really a good combination of stats. In fact, the only good chance that we had came in the second half, where Asensio showed us some majestic ball control and then he tested the goalkeeper far away from goal. Throughout the match, Real Madrid were only able to put a single shot on target, and that is simply not acceptable for a team like Real Madrid. You expect much better from Real Madrid. We are having this roller coaster of a season where the players show us some good performances in a few matches, they build up our hopes, and then in the next match, all of those hopes come crumbling down. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or rather I would say it's 1 step forward and then 1 step back. It's really difficult for the fans as well, and performances like these have been a recurring trend for the past 3 seasons. Yes, we have some good moments, but then again, we have those odd games where we don't know how to break down the opposition. Against a team like Osasuna, even before the game, we knew this is a side down in the relegation zone. There was the likelihood that they would try to do the same thing that Alaves have done, that Shakhtar have done, that Cadiz have done this season, and that is what we got from Osasuna. The most frustrating part is that we know teams in the bottom half of the table are going to play like this against us, and again, we don't really have any answers. We have no innovative strategy to deal with the low block. We simply look toothless. Osasuna on the night, they defended well, they kept their defensive structure in place, held their backline together, and that was instrumental in forcing those offside goals that Benzema and Ramos had scored. Osasuna defended well, and they deserve all the credit for that. They sometimes had 5 at the back, sometimes they had 6. Have a look at this picture, and then again have a look at this picture. Osasuna defended 5-4-1, and sometimes they defended with a 4-5-1 formation, and that really made it very difficult for Real Madrid to attack from the center. You go past one line of defense, and there was another line of defense in place to deal with. This made it difficult for the players to make those forward-looking intricate passes. Only Modric in the first half managed a few of those defense-splitting passes. Kroos, I thought, had an off game, and Casemiro, he was very good with his defensive game, especially in the first 20-25 minutes. But when it comes to the creation of chances, we all can agree our midfielders were not at their creative best. Now obviously when the teams park the bus, it is difficult to get your shots away, but in situations like these, there are a few options that a team has, such as moving the ball ball quickly, increasing the intensity of the play, increasing the speed of ball circulation, or try a different player with a different profile to bring something different to the table. But we didn't use any of the above options. Even as the minutes were running down, we didn't seem to have the urgency that you would expect from the players. The ball circulation was impeded by the snow, that is understandable, but at least, minimum, you need to show the intensity and show the desire to get all the 3 points. The players just didn't get out of the first gear. And now talking about the substitutions, I thought Zidane made some really questionable decisions. We took off an attacker to bring on a midfielder when we needed the goals. Asensio, I thought he wasn't at his best, but he was one of the players who was showing some good moves and was causing more problems than the rest of the attackers. Thus, I was scratching my head on that substitution, and I have no idea why Odegaard is nowhere near the pitch. This looked like a perfect game for him to come on and bring his creativity to the table, but once again he was overlooked, and overall we can say that the substitutions were not effective at all. Valverde was on for 25 minutes, but he could not get himself going. And if we talk about Benzema, it was the second consecutive game that he had a subdued performance. And the problem with Real Madrid is that if Benzema doesn't score, we don't really know where the goals would come from. In desperation, we sometimes play Ramos in the final third, or sometimes we see Casemiro going forward to provide that extra attacking option. Hazard is the man who has been brought in to deal with this situation. We think he would be the man to share the goal-scoring burden, but it was a disappointing night for Hazard. He tried a few flicks early on in the game, but they didn't really come off. He did show some flashes of his ability when he was taking the ball and driving at the defense, but we need to see more from Hazard. We need him to be more decisive. Hopefully with some momentum and some consecutive games under his belt, we will see better from Hazard, but all we can do now is hope. Hope, philosophically, for a better tomorrow. Now, if we have a look at the league table, you can see we have 37 points from 18 matches. Due to our inconsistencies, we have provided Barcelona a chance to come close to us in the points tally. They are just 3 points behind us. What matters is that Atletico still are a point ahead of us, and they still have 3 games in hand. We are literally gifting the league to Atletico. We were hoping to go to the top of the table as Atletico's match was cancelled yesterday, but we fell painfully short of expectations. Moving on, let's hear what the boss had to say in the post-match press conference. He was asked if he felt that the game should have been postponed, to which he said, "We played because they told us we had to play. We all saw what we saw. In the end, we played, and that's that. It's my opinion. We don't know what we are going to do. We'll see now. We have to recover and think about the next game." About the state of the pitch, Zidane said it was bad, bad, bad. We did what we could do on the pitch. That wasn't a football game. The conditions were what they were, and that's that. Zidane was then asked what affected Real Madrid more, the pitch or the 4-hour wait on the plane. He replied, "You already know, it was the pitch." Zidane naturally looked very unhappy and frustrated in the press conference, and I think this is because he knows that Real Madrid have just handed Atletico another boost, and with each point that we drop, our chances of just challenging for the title, forget about winning it, keeps dwindling. Now I hope we play well in the Copa del Rey and the Super Cup. At least we will have some silverware to celebrate this season. And Zidane as well, he has never won the Copa del Rey in his illustrious managerial career, so it would be good if he can add that trophy to his glittering trophy cabinet. I know I sound a bit pessimistic about the title hopes this season, but trust me, if Zidane can prove me wrong, I would be one of the happiest men on the planet. Lastly, I am sorry that you all had to go through this rant. I want the best for Real, but we are very far from the best, and this is not the Real Madrid that I fell in love with. That is all I have to say in this post-match analysis. Just like always, I would be very interested to know what did you make of the game and the performance of the players. Write in the comments below. I will see you soon. Till then, take care, glory to Madrid, and as always, Hala Madrid.